Okay, so again, for third condition, using these examples that Marcos didn't go to the soccer game, he had to work, we can go ahead and say if Marcos, and we're going to use past perfect. Remember, if Marcos
Gone.
hadn't had, I would say hadn't had to work, he would have gone to the soccer game. So the reason why I'm using this one, the work one, is because this one is the one that prevented Marcus from going to work, to the soccer match. So he really wanted to go to the soccer match. He couldn't do it. Why? Because this happened first. This reason he had to work. So if Marcus hadn't had to work, he would have gone to the soccer game. Any questions with that one?
Teacher,
Yeah.
we change the orden, the prazo.
Like for like you mean the order like in this one, like because I wrote Marcos didn't go to the soccer game, he had to work?
Yes.
No, not necessarily in this case, because the reason why I put it that way is because usually when you make these type of sentences, there's gonna be one that was the, like the roadblock for the other one. Like which one happened first? So one happened first, and for that reason is that the second one couldn't happen. For example, Ligia, can you tell me something that you wanted to do that you didn't do? Can you think of an example?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, eh, I I may I made exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, hay que negarlo.
But something else should happen, because usually when I mean you worked out, that's perfect. But did something else didn't happen because of this reason,
Um,
or something that
if
you got as a result from this?
I didn't go the beach.
Okay. 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 So from a logical order, even though it says Ligia worked out, she didn't go to the beach. Which one happened first? You not going to the beach or you working out?
Go to the beach.
No, because in this case, look at this. I mean, you didn't go to the beach because you had to work out, right? Or why? Do you understand my question?
Okay, okay.
Yes or no?
Yes, teacher, yes.
Okay. Um, Still, if you're not understanding, feel free to let me know because the whole point of this is for everyone to understand. But my point is something very important. You will be the ones that actually know what happened first. For example, if I ask you for examples of third conditional in the test, most likely I'm going to be expecting sentences that you create. If I give you a lot of background, then yes, I will know what happened first and what happened second. However, in this example, for example, in the one from Ligia, I don't know if it was because Ligia didn't go to the beach, and because of it she worked out, or the opposite. Which one prevented the other one? Okay, because usually when we have this, it is that something happened, and this thing that happened prevented me from doing this other thing. For that reason, in my mind, I imagine that, for example, maybe Ligia didn't, Ligia really wanted to work out. And for that reason, she said, either I work out, or I go to the beach. Not two of them, only one. And she said, oh no, I'm gonna work out and not go to the beach. That's in my mind. But maybe Ligia can say, no, I see it the other way around. In my mind, I because I didn't go to the beach is that I couldn't work out, because maybe she was planning to work out there at the beach. So again, like this, you're the one giving me the context, so you choose the order, what happened first, what happened second. That's completely up to you. If I give you the context, if I'm telling you a story and everything there, then of course there's only one way. But if I'm not telling you like a lot of information, you are the one that actually chooses which one happened first. What I will be paying more attention to is how you organize the sentence, how you give me that, and of course the grammar part to see if you're conjugating properly, if the if clause is the one in past perfect, and if the other one is the one that is using the would plus present perfect. Okay, so let's turn this one that Ligia gave me into a full example. So we can say, for example, if Ligia um, hadn't worked out, she would.
Teacher,
Yes, Sammy.
em, ahí no se pone el had después del hadn't.
No, because it's the main verb. In this case, this one is only gonna have past perfect. For example, in this one, in the one for Marcos, is because is we're using had como que tuvo que trabajar. But in this one, it's different because it's like se ejercitó. For that reason, the main verb is ejercitar, workout, or exercise. You can actually change workout for exercise. And for that reason is that we just take the main verb, and that's the one that we look for the past participle. What we do add is the had or hadn't. The other one is the one that could change. Okay. So again, in this one, the way that I imagine it, for example, is if Ligia hadn't worked out, she would have gone to the beach. So the reason why Ligia, sorry, didn't go to the beach is because she preferred to work out. Okay, so maybe Ligia had, I don't know, maybe a lot of classes in the gym and she really wanted to go to those classes. And she was like, no, I'd rather go to the gym and be super fit than going to the beach. This is the reason, okay? And the structure is super simple. So any questions or concerns in regards to these guys? I'm gonna take that as a no. Okay, super quick. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you some time to work on the practice that we have there in page, which was the one 148. In that one, I'm gonna give you some minutes to work that on that. Of course, if you come with any question or concern, let me know. There you have a quick explanation here, like in this part. This one, the one that is like in light blue. It says we use third conditional sentences to talk about how things could have been different in the past. Hypothetical or imaginary situations. Again, exactly everything that we mentioned. compare yesterday I got up late and missed my train. The real situation, if I hadn't got up late yesterday, I wouldn't have missed my train. The hypothetical or imaginary situation. There you have the structure and everything that you pretty much need. Please work on this practice and let me know if you come across any question, any concern, or any doubt, because I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna give you maybe 10 minutes. I don't think it's gonna take more than 10 minutes. If you need more time, then we can talk about it. But I think we can start with just 10 minutes for that practice. And of course, again, remember you can ask me if you have any question or concern. I'm gonna be here.
Teacher, I'm disconnected a few minutes and I don't know what are you doing now?
I'm currently reading something, but the rest of the class is working on the practice that is in page 140, 100 and let me check. It's in 148.
148.
Yes, the page that is in 148, it's a grammar one.
Okay. Es que estoy en el celular.
No worries. Did you find it?
Wait a minute.
Okay, don't worry, take your time. Okay, guys, did you already finish?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, thank you. Now what we're gonna do is that we're gonna move to the speaking part. So if you go to page 86, I'm gonna be sending you into the breakout rooms in pairs. And what you're gonna do is that you're gonna be talking about these phrases. First, you're gonna start with the quotes inside, like the bubbles, the ones that say, for example, the more I practice, the luckier I get. You've got to think lucky if you fall into mud hole, etc. All of those, and down those we still have number two. That's the number three and four. Those are questions. So you're going to try to comment on the phrases, and on top of it, you're going to try to also talk about these questions. I'm going to give you, I think, 15 minutes to work on this. Try to talk, of course, in English, like no brainer, and give your point of view about this. So let me go ahead and create the groups. Any question before I send into the breakout rooms?
Teacher,
Yes.
what is the page?
86.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome. Okay, let me see. Okay, just a second. Okay, guys, yes, all of you will be with one person, and there will be a group of three, just in case. Let me go ahead and create the breaker rooms, and you're gonna have 15 minutes starting now. In my watch is 7:16. So you're gonna have until 7:30 to finish working on that. Okay, so as we have there in page 149, the ones that we're going to talk about more are lots, a lot of, lots of, a lot, many, much, and plenty of. These are the ones that we're going to be focusing on the most. So how do they work? It says use a lot of or lots of in positive sentences. Use a lot when there is no noun. He talks a lot, not he talks a lot of. And much and many are usually used in negative sentences and questions, but a lot of can also be used. And use plenty of in positive sentences, more than enough. Okay, so let's divide them. Let's kind of break them into small pieces. Okay, use a lot of, or lots of in positive sentences. So how do we use it? Super simple. You refer to any type of quantity, and you can use a lot of. Let me go ahead and start giving you examples. Okay, we're going to talk about a lot of and lots of. So both of them refer to big quantities. Both of them refer, for example, that you want to say both work for countable and non-countable nouns. Do you remember countable and non-countable nouns? Yes.
Some
Some.
some of countable and uncountables.
Okay. Well, you pretty much follow.
It's not a lot. It's a little bit.
Just a few, maybe like two or three. No, but thank you, Carlos. I totally fine. Okay, what are countable nouns? Countable nouns are the ones that we actually use when we can actually see them, like we can count them. For example, I have 20 cousins, so I can count my cousins. When it is in particles, for example, maybe like rice, that they're like the grains are very small, you're not gonna say, oh, I can eat 20 grains. No, we never say that. You can say, oh, I can eat a lot of rice, or I can't eat a lot of rice. So you're just referring to a quantity like that. Or you can also use them with specific quantities. Oh, I saw a lot of people. How many? 20 people. So you can use a lot of or lots of for big quantities, okay? Then which was the other rule that we had over there? Okay, it says use a lot when there is no noun. He talks a lot, okay? So you can use it alone, just saying a lot, when there is no noun. You know which are nouns. Nouns can be people, places, or things. So you can just use it close to a verb. You can say, oh, he eats a lot. As simple as that. As we would say in Spanish, harta un montón. He eats a lot. Okay, which is the other one? I probably would say that about me. Okay, which is the other one? Oh, something super important that I didn't mention. If you're gonna say it like that, like he eats a lot, that is it. Like just like that. You can never say he eats a lot of and stop there. Because it's like in Spanish, you say come un montón de and stop there. Like we would be like, montón de qué? Like finish, tell me more about it. It's as we say, ya empezó el chisme, termínelo, right? So like if you're ready, like started there, say it like that. If you don't want to say that and you just want to say, oh, he eats a lot, that's perfect. He drinks a lot. Like when you want to say that maybe, as we say, tal persona es un borracho, and you want to say, oh, he drinks a lot. But if you say he drinks a lot of, that would be ungrammatical. Why? Because you're leaving there the of. Once you add the of, you must add the noun. Why? Because we need to know what is it that you're talking about. Okay? Questions up to here? Okay, let's move with the other one. Much and many are usually using negative sentences in question. Totally right. You probably already know this, but much, wait. Much and many are very different. Who can tell me the difference between much and many? When can I use one? When can I use the other?
Much is for uncountable things, and many is for countable.
Yes, that is perfect. Thank you, David. Okay, so in this case, just give me a second. Just a second, guys. So as David was saying, much is for uncountable and many for countable. So if you're gonna talk about oranges, apples, cars, people, whatever, you're gonna use many. And you're gonna use much if it's things like water. Oh, I drank much water, or I didn't drink much water. Oh, I didn't see many people in the meeting, etc. As it says there, they're usually used in negative sentences. Something important, in case that you want to use them in a positive sentence, I think you could. It might not be the colloquial thing to do, like what people usually do, but it's something that you can do. You're not going to be breaking any rules. Okay, the following. Which one am I missing? Okay, use plenty of in positive sentence. So do you know the meaning of plenty of? No one? When we use plenty of, we are referring to we have a big amount of. So we can say, for example, let me see. Okay, Bill Gates has plenty of money. So in this case, it means that this person has a lot of money, like plenty of. And as the book says, we usually use them in positive sentences. We don't use it that much on negative sentence. So if you want to use it in a negative sentence, you can use a different one. You could say, for example, oh, he doesn't have a lot of money, for example, instead of saying he doesn't have plenty of time. It's more common to use, again, if you use it in negative, it's not ungrammatical, but I think it's more like usage, like how people use it. Like, is it in a positive way or in a negative way? Questions up to here?
Teacher, plenty of use for countable or uncountable nouns.
It can be both. Because you can say, oh, there are plenty of oranges in my house. So you could just refer, it's just more, it's referring to the amount, like you have a lot of, like there is a vast majority of whatever you are actually having there. Okay, any question, guys? There? Nope, super clear. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take your silence as a yes. Okay, we have a practice on this. This part, actually, this one is a practice. But before we move into that, let's move into small quantifiers over there. So we have, and let me go ahead and make it a little bit bigger so you can look at it. Okay, small quantities. Do you want some more ice cream? Just a little. So again, you cannot quantify ice cream. You can quantify flavors. How many flavors? Yes. But you cannot say I ate 20 ice cream. No. You can say I ate maybe 20 cones with ice cream, or I ate 20 different flavors of ice cream. Because that is something that we do in Spanish that we don't do in English. In Spanish, we actually go ahead and add, we count everything. Everything. We add numbers to everything. In English, we don't. It's like money. We don't count money. We cannot count money. For that reason, in English, we use bills or coins. In Spanish, we do say like, oh, I have tanta plata. In English, we don't. We cannot really count it. What we count is the way that it was measured, or what was created to measure it. Okay, so the town only has a few more movie theaters. A few, again, to refer to just a little, like not many. Then we also have, I'm so busy that I have very little time and very few friends. Use little plus uncountable nouns, few plus plural countable nouns. Okay, you have it there. When we use little, the ones that we're going to use close to are uncountable nouns. I have little water. Or I have a few oranges in my apartment, for example. And then we can also use a little and a few equals some, but not a lot. This is in regards to their meaning. Every time that you're going to use them is just that you have not a lot, just maybe 2, 3, 4. It's not in a specific amount. It's just not many. Maybe you had 20 oranges in the past and now you only have 4. So you can say, oh, I have a few oranges left, period. And very little and very few, it again is the same when you don't have a lot, like you have less, maybe one, maybe two, and that's not enough. Something very important, when you use very few or very little, usually that refers that it might not be enough. For example, let's say that Meli Cubero says, teacher, can you give me a, I don't know, a TV? And then I'm like, no, Meli, I have very few in my apartment, meaning I don't have enough to give you. Because if you actually say, for example, when you say I have a few, it's like tengo poquitos, but it's still like we could share, we could do something. But when we say, oh, I have very little or very few, es como, es que no alcanza. It's not gonna work. Like I just have one and I'm only one person, then I'm sorry, it's not gonna work for both of us. Maybe next time I could give you one, not today. Questions up to here, guys? Nope.
No,
teacher.
teacher.
No,
Oh.
teacher.
Is it clear? I think that,
Teacher,
tell me, Ligia.
very few, very little is el contrario de plenty of.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. When you have plenty of, it's like you have, como quien dice, hasta para tirar para arriba, right? And very few or very little is the opposite. Es como, this que no alcanza, ni para mí. That's what people say when say like, do you have any chocolate? Like, no, very little chocolate. Like it's not gonna work. And maybe I have like a big bar, but it's very little for me because I eat a lot of chocolate. So I'll be like, no, it's not gonna work. Very little. But yeah, that's exactly that was perfectly here. Thank you. Okay, before we move into the practice, let's move into the other part that we have here, more or less than you need or want. So the ones that we have here is use, I don't like this city, it's too big and it's too noisy. Something very important. Every time too has like a negative connotation. So too means like muy. So if you say too noisy, it's como muy ruidosa. Something very important. You can say it's very noisy and it's como que it's ruidosa, pero que you don't hate it. But if you say it's too noisy, es como que usted diga, I hate it. Like it's so noisy that I just don't like it. I cannot live here. For example, once I had the opportunity to be in London and everyone was like running and everyone was like, as we say in Spanish, parecía que decían quemar los frijoles. Y yo dije, oh God, no, this is just too crazy for me. Like I couldn't live here. So that's exactly when you use to, it has a negative connotation. If you say, for example, this food is too good, maybe it's going to imply something negative. O sea, la persona que lo escuche va a decir, ¿por qué? O sea, ¿qué tiene? Digamos, como too good for what? For the price, for the place. Entonces ya uno sabe que lo que siga va a hacer referencia a algo negativo que esté alrededor de esa comida or something. Okay? The other one, there is too much traffic and too much noise. Pretty much the same, just making it higher. So in the first one, it's like, as we say, cuando usted solo usa tú es como que está incómodo. Pero cuando usted usa too much or too many, es como que ya, like I had enough. Like no more, I'm sorry. There are too many tourists and too many cars. That's what I say every time that I come from San Jose to Heredia. Like around 4 p.m., there are too many cars, like too many. Like you wish you had like an helicopter and then just fly above all of them and get to your house. So like for me, it's very frustrating because driving is very difficult. Like you sometimes you don't even move. Like you're there for hours. So that's a good example. For example, there aren't enough parks and there aren't enough trees. So you require a certain amount, and that amount is not there. I do not have enough money to go to the movies. I do not have enough food. So when we use enough means that you don't have the amount that you need for that. For example, maybe, I don't know, I want to go to the movies and I need 10,000 colones and I only have 5,000. So I do have money, but it's not enough. Like the amount is not required. I need another 5,000 to go to the movies. Let me see, which one are we missing? The buses aren't frequent enough. That's what I would do. That's what I would say when where I was living there in San Carlos, like because we had a bus like every 3 hours. So I would be like the buses aren't frequent enough. Like the frequency of the buses is just like it doesn't work for me. Like I wish they could go more frequently, like they had more schedules, for example. And the buses don't run frequently enough, pretty much the same thing. Something very important. When we use frequently, there must be a verb close to it because frequently it's an adverb. So for in this case, the buses don't run. Run is the verb, and then frequently would be the adverb. Which in the first one, the buses aren't frequent enough. Frequent enough is talking about the buses. Remember that adjectives qualify nouns and adverbs usually qualify verbs. Cada vez que usamos un adverbio es porque usualmente estamos hablando de una característica del verbo. O sea, en este caso es como que las carreras de los buses, digamos, sus horarios are not, o los buses no pasan, digamos, frequently enough. Pero entonces no estoy hablando, o sea, no, por así decirlo, no me estoy comiendo los buses, sino lo frecuente que pasan los buses. Okay, so I'm talking about the verb specifically. Questions with this one, any of these ones? We're going to move into the following chart in a minute. Questions? Nope. Okay, so let's look at what the information that we have over here. Use to plus adjective. Yes, yes, tell me.
To y enough always is used in negative form.
To, yes. To always has like a negative connotation. Something very
Yes.
important. To, the sentence has a negative connotation, but not a negative marker. So it's not like you have to say, oh yeah, I am not too good at it. No, that's ungrammatical. Because to already has like a hidden message of a negative connotation. Entonces, cuando me van a poner ahí como un I am not too good, porque that's going to be ungrammatical, porque como es como en matemática, negativo y negativo lo hace positivo, at the end, the person listening is going to say, so are you good or not? Like, I don't get that part, okay? But the sentence is going to be positive, grammatically speaking. O sea, no va a haber ningún negative particle, ningún not or nada así, pero it will have a negative meaning. It's like when you say, for example, I am bad at cooking. The sentence is positive porque gramaticalmente hablando, there's no negative there, but it has a negative message saying that you're not good at doing certain activity. So that happens with to, and with enough, usually it is the opposite. Enough, it's we use a negative particle. But sorry. Sorry, I felt something on my throat. With enough is a little bit different. Why? To solo se puede utilizar en oraciones positivas, digamos, gramaticalmente hablando, pero que van a entail a negative connotation, a negative meaning. O sea, como que escondido va a haber ahí algo negativo. Enough can be used for both, positive and negative, because I have seen it in both ways. I think it's more common in negative ones because we usually use like, oh, no tengo suficiente para tal cosa, o no tengo suficiente recursos, o suficiente food or anything. But you can also use it in positive context. Like, I have enough money to go there, for example. Like when you have the exact amount of resources to do that. So enough can be used in both positive and negative sentences. To only has a negative connotation. If you want to say that something is, for example, really good or really bad, but you don't want for it to have a negative connotation, you can use very. Oh, this city is very noisy. And then it's going to sound just like an opinion. Maybe there is a lot of noise in the city. But if you say this city is too noisy, then the listener is gonna believe that you're actually giving your opinion immediately saying, I don't like it. I don't like that this city is that noisy. Do you see the difference? Am I explaining myself? So.
So.
Okay, no worries. We can go again. So, two, something again important. Grammatically speaking, positive. O sea, no va a haber ningún not ni nada cerca del to. Only, digamos, no va a haber nada negativo, pero it entails something negative. O sea, me va a decir como que tiene un significado escondido de que tal vez hay algo que me molesta, por así decirlo. Como cuando uno dice, oh, she's too good. Entonces, como que dice, ah, es que es muy buena. Como que ya uno espera que le digan para que sea real. O sea, como que something is ahí escondido, algo está pasando, maybe está haciendo trampa, maybe, I don't know. Is the same as when we say, ah, es que es muy bueno para ser cierto. It's exactly that type of feeling. Como que uno dice, algo malo me va a pasar, como este día estuvo muy bueno, es como que uno dice, ya ahorita me quiebro, me caigo, me pasa algo, me estafan, something's gonna happen. It's that type of feeling. When we say too, no is it too good or something, even though gramaticalmente hablando es positivo, digamos, de que no hay nada negativo, ningún noto así, it entails that that it's too good, o sea, como que es demasiado bueno, como que something bad is gonna happen. But with enough is just that you have the right amount or not. O sea, como que le alcanza o no le alcanza, that's it. If you say, I have enough money to buy food this week, that means that you have the exact amount of money that you need. Or the opposite, I don't have enough money to buy food this week. It means that the amount of money that you have in your bank, it's not going to be enough for you to actually go and get the food. So we have two, which only entails a negative meaning, and enough, which can be used in both to say that you have the specific amount for something or that you don't have the specific amount for something. Better.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, still, if you have any more questions, guys, you can let me know. We're still going to move into the practice if we have time, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, let's see if I'm using. Okay, it says use enough before a noun. No, sorry, use too much plus countable nouns and too many plus plural or use too much plus uncountable nouns and too many plus plural countable nouns. You know that already. Use enough before a noun, enough x, and after an adjective. It isn't big enough or another. You aren't walking fast enough. Okay, pretty much everything that we already mentioned. Zero quantity, there isn't any room in the car. We don't have any x. There is no room in the car. We have no x. How many x do you have? None. I've used them all. Something very important here, guys. There is a thing with any. I don't know if we have talked about it like someday or not, but when we use any and we want for it to be negative, we need to use isn't or aren't or a negative particle. If there is not a not particle there, it's going to have a positive meaning. Okay? Which is the difference for the following. There is no room. So when you have, why am I saying this? Because for example, it happens a lot when people say, I don't know anything or I know nothing. Or sometimes people say, I don't know nothing. That is incorrect. It's either I don't know anything or I know nothing. Entonces, como quien dice, yo sé nada o yo no sé nada. Entonces, el I don't know anything es el yo no sé nada, or el I know nothing es el yo sé nada. Just call it like that. Why am I saying this? Because in Spanish, we make like a triple negation, like no, yo no sé nada. So, and that is ungrammatical in English. In English, we just do it like that. I don't know anything, or I know nothing, like that. But never, ever, I know anything, or I don't know nothing. That one will be incorrect, ungrammatical. And this is the same that happens here. When you want to refer that you have zero, like nothing, the bank is empty, the fridge is empty, everything is empty, we use it any with a negative particle, maybe a not, Or you can use the no, there is no room, there is no help, there is no person, or none. Do you have something? None. I have none. Period. Like that. Okay, it says use any plus noun for zero quantity with a negative verb. There it is, what I was talking about. Sorry, use no plus noun with a positive verb. Okay, no negative when you use no. I have no interest. I have no appetite. I have no whatever. And the last one, use none without a noun in short answers. None usually means ninguno, in case you didn't, or like nothing, in case I didn't know the meaning. Do you have any news? None. Meaning I have no news, or I don't have any news. So you see that I could say the same thing in three different ways. Do you have any news? None. I have no news. No plus the noun, or I don't have any news. Okay, questions with this ones? No? Yes, maybe? I'm gonna take your silence as a no. There are no questions. We have that practice. We're not gonna work on it today because I know it's already late and we covered two grammar topics. So probably your brain is now like dried. So we're gonna stop the class right here so you can go and eat something, or I don't know, drink something, or we'll see. If you have any, work on the practice, and let me know if you have any work later, not today. And let me know if you have any question or concern, okay? Any questions or concern before I let you go? Nope.
After
Huh?
tomorrow.
The more you have the questions. Once you're working on the practice, that makes sense. If tomorrow you're doing the practice and you have any question, you can of course go ahead and let me know. And as soon as I have any time, I will go ahead and text you with trying to answer your questions. Okay.
Thank
We
you.
are
Yes, tell me.
we are tired, teacher.
I know we all. No, you have no idea how tired I am. I am burnout. Like I'm probably gonna touch my bed and then just sleep until like 7 a.m. tomorrow. Like if I could have to work again. Okay, guys, I'm gonna let you go right now. I hope you have an amazing rest of your night. Try to work on that practice before next class. So in case that you have any questions, you can let me know. And that's it. Take good care of you. It was very nice seeing you today.
Thank you.